Hi everyone. So the government came back, the UK government came back from its summer break this week, was immediately thrown into turmoil because the subject of Brexit came up, and whenever that happens, have you noticed whenever the subject of Brexit comes up, something else happens mysteriously around that same time to take the. Anyway, I'll cover that in the next video. The reason it was thrown into turmoil was because a few months ago, you may remember, I did videos on this. Where the government laid out its plans for a post-Brexit future in its governmental Chequers white paper. And I remember having Jamal Thomas on this channel, and we were having a conversation about this at that very time, and we both said, this is ridiculous. They're not going to go for that. They've basically said, we're not going to go for that already, and we were laughing about it. And now, months later, we get to the point where now Barnier of the EU has come out and said, "No, we're not going to accept that." What a surprise! This was from the Guardian a couple of days ago. Rees-Mogg, the guy from the Old Testament in a top hat and monocle, who looks like Lord Snooty from the Beano, for those of you of a certain generation. Rees-Mogg says Barnier agrees that Chequers' proposal is rubbish. MP claims he bonded with the EU negotiator in Brussels over their shared distaste for May's plan. How anybody can bond with him is beyond me. But in this article it says Barnier said the proposal would destroy the European project, and he instead offered a Canada-style trade deal. So the EU was saying, well, why don't you have a trade deal like we negotiated with Canada? It took 5 years to negotiate with Canada, but we're on a better footing than them because we're already aligned with regards to certain regulations and laws. So it would take certainly less time and would be less of a complicated process than the Canada agreement with the EU. But the Guardian saying this, which would that style of deal, the Canada-style trade deal, would significantly hinder the British economy and offer no solutions to the Irish border issue. Now, I didn't read all of this article because I just got the information from it, but I don't think they went on to say why it would significantly hinder the British economy. Well, there's a reason why it would significantly hinder the British economy, and let me explain. This comes out at the same time, remember, as we're seeing lots of reports come out that the polling suggests that if we had another referendum, we would overwhelmingly vote to stay in the EU. I've seen one poll that said we would vote to remain 59 to 41 if that was to happen. We were going to get another referendum. Yeah, Brexiteers are going to be pissed off with that. If we have another vote and remain, there's going to be riots. There's going to be riots. People are going to be pissed off. This is from the Spectator. Canada-style Brexit deal might come back on the table. This is from 8th of September. So, everybody's talking about this Canada-style deal because Barnier has suggested it. Now, I don't think the Tories are going to go anywhere near that deal. Not because it would be a good idea, but because it would be bad for them. Let me explain. Because the one thing that isn't included in the Canada deal with the EU is a services sector agreement. They're not included. So you're talking the financial services, the insurance services. They wouldn't be included in the deal with the EU. But that's the service in this industry. That's the industry in this country that's actually driving the economy and has done for some time. This is quickly from the Telegraph. It says the economy is on track for sustained growth helped by a dominant services sector which put in a solid performance last month, defying the slowdown in the construction and manufacturing industry. So the construction and manufacturing industries, they are suffering. They're the people who employ working class people, They're suffering. The services sector doing well. Now, services sector, incorporates it's like 80% of our economy, and it incorporates a lot of different services like water, like gas, utilities, also restaurant, but it does include the financial services sector. And I think this is key, because I think that's why the Tories are not going to want to go anywhere near it. In fact, they won't even mention it. I haven't heard any of them mention it once, to be honest. Now, you can see there in the bottom paragraph, it says economists believe this means the economy is on track to maintain its second quarter gross domestic product growth rate of 0.4%. Wow! So we're barely growing, and we have been barely growing for quite some time. I saw one stat that basically said we're the slowest growing economy in the world, which was kind of funny. But they're the people that are doing well: the financial sector, the services sector. The people who are selling goods to the EU or selling services to the EU without goods attached. These are the very people that crashed the frigging economy in the first place. These are the people that we had to bail out. And they're the people that are doing well now. And the people that are suffering are the people in the manufacturing industry, the working class people and the poor. They're the people that are suffering. The people that did well or are doing well are the people that were bailed out and caused the problems in the first place. And then Theresa May and the Tories must be looking horrified, and you think, well, why don't the young like us? Why aren't the 18 to 24s voting for us? Is it because they, came of voting age during this period and can see that it's totally unfair the way the people who didn't cause the financial crisis are the ones that are having to bail it out, and the people who did cause the financial crisis, they're doing well now, and they're also, it looks like, the people driving the economy, and they're the people now that Theresa May and the Tories are saying, no, we can't have that sort of deal. This needs to be included, because they're the people that are driving the economy. They're the people that are driving the economy because you've set it up like that. Austerity has never worked, ever. She says the point of austerity is to bring down the debt. Well, if you shrink your economy and your debt is still the same, you've got a larger debt compared to your economy. It's actually, if that's the point, it's pointless, but that's not the point with their austerity measures. Their point is designed to do the very thing that it's doing, and that's keep the money going in that direction and keep the money going to the people in the banking and the financial industry. Why? They're the people who back the Tories. That's the way I see it. I could be 100% wrong on this. Let me know in the comments below. But that's the way I see it. I see the Tories protecting their buddies in the financing industry. That's what I see. And I see the Tories trying to kick the can down the road, and Theresa May trying to kick the can down the road for as long as possible. What is it, 3 years since the referendum now? Is it 2 years since Article 50 invoked? And where are we? What's been agreed? Nothing. Nothing at all. They're just trying to frustrate and kick the can down the road as long as possible. Now it's coming to crunch time. Now it's coming to the time where, you know what, a decision is going to have to be made one way or another, even if the decision is to extend it. It's going to have to be done. I wouldn't be surprised if that's the case, actually. But I certainly don't think that May or the Tories will agree to a Brexit in the style of the deal that Canada has got with the EU, because the financial services sector and the insurance sector, they will miss out. I think I read, this is from memory, I think it's something like 15% of the services sector, or 15% of the exports to the EU are from the services sector. I don't know how accurate those figures are now, but that's what's going to cause a downturn. Now, if we do go down that route, I think the Guardian are right in saying that it would cause a bit of an economic downturn. I've seen reports saying anywhere between 8 and 15% loss of GDP, that's comparable to the recession in 2008, immediately upon leaving. And it would be probably somewhere in that region if we leave with a no deal. Theresa May's reaction to Barnier was to say, hey, she's on record as saying a bad deal wouldn't be the end of the world, or no deal wouldn't be the end of the world. And I think that rattled the EU because they don't want us to have no deal either. That would be really bad for them. We shall see. I think there is going to be another referendum. I do. I said this even before the last referendum. If we leave, I think there'll be another referendum because you can't have an in-out referendum without defining what out is. However, if there was another referendum and a Canada-style Brexit were one of the options, it could very well be something that people might gravitate to, especially after what I've just said about the people that the May is protecting, because at the end of the day, the people who are going to miss out are the people that caused the bloody financial crash in the first place and caused this mess. But there are other people that would obviously be affected as well. If there was a recession of losing 8%, we would all feel it. The poor would feel it more than the people at the top, that's for sure. Canada-style Brexit does stop free movement of people, so that would be a big tick in the box for people who want to leave. It doesn't fix the Northern Ireland border issue. There's still an open question of that. As I pointed out in my last video, I think there are only two options with regards to Northern Ireland. That's we either stop in the EEA and keep free movement of people, which has been taken off the table from pretty much everybody on this side of the fence, or we let Northern Ireland stop in the EU. You cannot try and put a border there between those two countries. I don't care what land Rees-Mogg is in when he's saying you could have it. You would have to have inspections like during the Troubles, he said in that video I showed in the last video. Absolute moron. Now, obviously, if you do go down the route of letting Ireland and Northern Ireland stop in the EU, then Scotland are going to go, okay, listen here, Sonny Jim, because Scotland overwhelmingly voted to stop in the EU, so they're going to want another referendum probably. I've seen reports this morning of Wales saying, hold on a minute, we voted to stop in the EU as well. It's all going to, it's like I've said before in many videos, it was always going to end up like this. It was inevitable. I know it's really funny when I read the comments, because I'll read one comment and somebody will criticise me for being a Brexiteer and you Brexiteers are all the same, and then in the very next comment somebody will criticise me for wanting to stop in the EU or or wanting another referendum. It's like, it's not the case of me wanting another referendum. This is what I said was inevitable from the very beginning. But people get passionate about it, so I don't mind. I'm putting videos out there. Take all the shots you want. All I'm trying to do is give you the facts. And the fact is, by the look of it, there's no way that May and the Tories, if you ask me, will go towards a Canada-style Brexit, even though it might look appealing to a lot of people who voted for Brexit, just simply because they've got to protect their buddies in the financial industry, because they're going to miss out. What a surprise. The Tories looking after themselves instead of looking after the people of this country. Maybe that's why they've got a 4-point deficit in the polls at the moment. It might have something to do with it. I hope I've made things clear, as clear as possible here. It's a subject which is quite complex, and you say one word out of in the wrong way, or one word instead of another word, and people can jump on you. So hopefully I've given the facts here with regards to what this deal is and why the Tories won't want to go anywhere near it. It's because their buddies in the finance industry, the same people who caused the financial crash, are the ones that are going to lose out. It's almost as if they set these austerity measures up on purpose to happen this way, and it wasn't about reducing the deficit all along. Funny that, isn't it? If you like this video and you want to hear more, please click subscribe and click the bell down there as well, so you get a notification of when I drop further videos. Otherwise, YouTube will hide it from you. Any future videos, they have admitted that they do that. We are facing an absolute onslaught, a barrage from both the corporate media and corporations who are trying to silence our voices. They're trying to stop us from bringing you the truth and cutting through the partisan BS that you get in the mainstream media. They don't like it. We're their competition. So if you can support channels like mine, please do so. Please share the videos wherever you can. Talk to your friends and family and spread the word about what we're doing. If you can support us on Patreon, please do so as well. The link is down there. You can support me for as little as $1 a month, and every bit helps. We cannot do this without your support. Thanks very much for your support. Until next time, peace and take care.